Hey, Riot podcasters. Long podcast today.
Well, we had a good quality show.
We did. Actually, maybe
and
it's
a
not
Riot
longer.
Food fight.
Maybe it's not longer than usual. But you know what it was? I said this to Nikki about halfway through the show. I'm like, man, I've got so much great stuff to talk about today. We can't fit it all in.
Yeah.
And then there are days where you're like, oh, man.
It's hard to find anything.
It's hard to find something that's worth talking about. And today was like the complete opposite of that.
It's hard to find something that we can pass along to you guys. Like, there's always stories, but some of them are so terrible, we're not doing that.
Oh, speaking of passing along, a lot of people around here are sick.
That's in this podcast.
That's making me a little nervous.
I know. I'm kind of on edge because I don't want us to have it during Easter.
No,
I would like to enjoy the weekend.
I don't want to have it at all.
Yeah, I know, but I really don't want to have it on the weekend.
I don't want to have it at all. KFC's got a new barbecue, we think. Katy Perry's eating Japanese nuggets. We have a little theme week moment where we go around the states. That's a thing.
So email us riot@radiou.com if you want your state included next week.
Well, included something
with
interesting.
A story. You have to give us a story to go with it.
We also talk Simpsons Donuts, Beat Saber, Taking Bullets, Tijuana sewage flows, and finally taste test that Reese's peanut butter egg donut.
We do a Riot taste test with the new Krispy Kreme donut.
I said it.
What?
It's a Reese's, not a Reese's. I said Reese's.
I always say it. But it's a Reese's peanut butter egg. And that's the new donut flavor. So that is available. You can hear it here, but if you want to watch it, I always encourage you guys, make sure you follow us and subscribe. Because if you just follow, you're not getting notified. But if you follow and subscribe to get notified, then you'll find out first when we post things. And that is available on our RadioU and RadioU Riot Facebook pages or our RadioU Riot YouTube channel if you want to watch our Riot Food Fight too.
So you guys enjoy the podcast. Thank you so much for hanging out with us.
Have a great weekend. And Hudson
Nikki,
is in next week.
Yeah, Nikki's going to take some vacation next week, so it'll be me and Hudson. So
you can't see me, but I'm waving like the pageant wave, and I'm going bye.
She's out.
Bye-bye.
She's abandoning you guys.
Bye-bye.
So it's cool. I'll just fight it out.
You guys will have fun.
We're going to have a great time. It's the Riot.
You don't have to apologize unless you've done something wrong.
Well, I'm sorry. I can't even think straight right now.
This is the worst of the Riot. We're very, very sorry.
Well, guys, it's getting real around here.
We're a little worried, just to be honest with you, so we're going to share some concerns. And questions we might have if anybody else is dealing with the same thing.
So here's what we find out, okay? Hudson, 2 days ago, has to leave early because he's throwing up. And, that like you do, it's just one of those things that happens.
You're worried. Don't trigger anybody with that noise in case everybody else really is sick.
So here's the thing that amazes me about Hudson. He got sick and then he was like, it's all right. I can make it.
You at first thought he was mad or something because he was just so not himself.
He had already thrown up once.
Yeah, and you didn't know that.
I did not know that. I was like, I just think he seems kind of angry or whatever because I talked to him. And then about 10 minutes later, I get this phone call because I left and he's like, bro. You know what I'm saying?
So he's not been well, but I feel like he's bouncing back.
He seems to be because he was back yesterday.
Yeah.
Which I did not expect. I thought we wouldn't see Hudson again for at least another day.
He made it for a shift, so he was fine.
Battle of the Buzz happened.
But now the worry continues. You're like, is that just a one-off? Like, is it just one person sick? Then
I got a text message at like 11 o'clock last night from Sydney, who will also not be here today because Sydney...
So we're a small staff.
We are a small staff.
So at this point, we are at a good portion of. There's some of us who are not sick.
I'm not.
I don't want to be sick. It's Easter weekend. I don't want to do it.
I don't. Do you know that at home right now, I have a bag of robin eggs?
You're ready to go.
Do you understand that?
You just want to eat those and you don't want to throw up.
I'm ready for Easter now. I've got my robin eggs.
I see.
I'm good.
I don't want this to continue any further. So my question is, where is this coming from? Which studio does it lie in, or where is the which hallway is the sickness in?
My only concern is that there's only two places that Hudson and Sydney have in common.
And I'm sitting at one of them right now.
And I came in and you were sitting at the other one.
Oh, no, the break room table.
The break room?
Why didn't you tell me?
And
you
Mike won.
Get up. Why didn't you tell me?
Well, it's too late. You were already licking the table. So I was like, it's fine.
It's fine.
Okay, here's the thing I was thinking, though. Okay, Sydney texted me, and she's like, you guys should probably wipe down the board. Like,
Again, you didn't tell me before I sat here.
She didn't throw up over there. She was just saying.
Still, her germs are around. The throw-up germs.
You already knew that. I think
I'm going to be immune to this one.
But the reason I don't want to go over there and clean it up is that I had a friend of mine one time, one of my roommates, I was incredibly sick. And they were like, you know what, bro, it's okay. Like, I'll clean the bathroom, and then that way nobody else will get sick. It'll be fine. And they got incredible. I feel like they got sicker than I did. And I know it's because they cleaned.
Sure.
And I was like, I always remember that. Like, you know what? The person who's sick should clean. And if you're not sick, don't clean. Just don't touch.
Just leave it alone.
Just something.
This is interesting because yesterday I rolled the dice and ate an older yogurt. It's like, okay, I'm either going to throw up or not. And I did not. So maybe my stomach has been coated.
You're strong.
And I'm not going to get whatever this sickness is.
Strong. You're totally
it was a Greek
strong.
yogurt, and I thought it's a heartier yogurt.
You know, the Greeks ruled the world at one point.
Did, so it's not going to hurt me if it's just questionable.
I'm sure.
So we'll see what happens with Throw Up Watch 2018.
I've got a lot of confidence in you.
I'm sure I should be fine.
Here's what we need. We need a weekend. We'll get away.
Yeah.
Germs will die off. The only person that I'm concerned about are Zach and Josh. But, I mean, is it wrong that I'm more concerned about us than them?
You remember that time you started your morning with a gas station breakfast sandwich and immediately regretted it? Yeah, it's like that. The Riot. RadioU.
Want to say what's up to Daniel. He paid for a day of RadioU. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Daniel.
$25 a month, $150 one time. Pretty great.
Thank you for helping this week.
Or as Nikki would remind us, just say great.
Yes, it doesn't. I feel like the pretty part just minimizes it. It is great.
I just
completely
feel like it's
great, totally great.
That is completely great. I feel like I need a word in there though.
So add one of those.
Like I don't feel like you can just say that's great. You have to say that's pretty great.
That's like how I don't feel like I could say have a good day when I end an email. I feel like I have to put have a great day.
Do you really?
Because if someone sees that I said had a great to someone else and not to them, they'll think that I don't like them as much.
Man, you just
good is not great.
You just stumbled onto something.
It's like I feel like once I move to great, then everybody has to have a great day. I can't go back to good day.
I'll tell you what has happened to me is that sometimes I've got a couple of friends of mine and I that just constantly trade stupid jokes, memes, one-liners. That's like our whole text conversation. That's it. Nothing serious, nothing real, just hollow internet nonsense.
That's fine.
And so
friendships can be based off of that.
And so I said to him, like I would type to friends like ha 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 ha, but I felt like I needed a dividing line between like, I appreciate that, that's funny, and like, no, man, no, I'm seriously laughing out loud really hard right now. So at one point, I started using bwahaha. Put a B in there right at the beginning. BW, and then ha. And then I made the mistake of tweeting and Facebooking and saying, like, I have now moved on. That if I think something's really funny, bwahaha. Okay. Then one of my friends sent me something, and I was like, ha. And then he came back to me and was like, oh, I didn't get bwahaha. Guess I'm not that funny.
So now you can't go back.
Oh, crap.
You've boxed yourself into something else.
I totally boxed myself in, and I should have never brought it up.
You can't go to the top with your responses.
But where do we go from here?
Go back one. You should have stuck with ha.
So
I should have said had a good day.
So I have to explain to my friend, I have to help restore him like, ha, still good.
Is the new one.
And I may have even said that, and he was like, yeah, but I'm trying to earn the B. It's like, oh my gosh. And then
how about if you go, well, no one's gotten the A, the ha, and that's
starting
the
with
top,
an A.
So the B is okay.
But see, it's not though. Like the B is the best.
I understand.
I understand because the BW at the beginning to me, that is just like I couldn't contain myself. I had to like it came out. Like it escaped my lips.
Just watch what you say, guys. Watch what you say and do, because you're not sure where that's going to box you in.
Well, because what's happening, as Nikki has said, is like you set a new level, and then everybody wants to be on that level all the time. What we need is a couple of things. One, we need to allow people to set a new level, but then we also need to be okay with them, like not always being at that level. Like, you know what? I got a ha-ha, not a bwahaha, and I'm okay with that.
That's good enough for today.
It's okay. I mean, it's a Friday. I got a lot going on. I didn't get the BW, and I'm okay with that. I mean, I just know that because we've done this show a lot. We're not always getting the B.
The worst of the riot has no expiration date. It's born spoiled. It's the riot on RadioU.
Now, before we got so distracted by the bwahaha,
our earlier conversation,
I wanted to talk to you, Nikki, about the fact that I feel like you and I need to get to KFC.
And what are they doing there?
Well, they had a new thing that I can't figure out when they, in air quotes here, released it, because I can find reviews of it dating all the way back to the last week of January.
Okay.
But then it seems like maybe that was a small launch, and maybe now it's gone
nationwide.
wide. Smoky Mountain Barbecue?
No, I haven't seen that.
Do you know anything about that?
I do not.
And did anybody hear Nikki's genuine interest?
Well, I was like, what are you going to say? So what is it? Smoky what?
Smoky Mountain Barbecue. I just sent you a link to
Mountain Barbecue.
A guy who did a write-up on The Takeout, which is a website I've never visited.
Is that the new flavor?
That's the new flavor.
I've never heard of Smoky Mountain Barbecue flavor.
I haven't either. And I'll tell you what, I absolutely loved. I mean, I haven't gone back and had it, but the KFC Georgia Gold, I thought that was fantastic.
That was good.
I really liked that food.
Nashville Hot, I felt was pretty good, but it seemed like they hit the mark with a couple of flavors. But we never knew. I mean, Nashville Hot we knew about, but Carolina Gold,
that was like
we're not in that region, so we just didn't really know. Like, these are sauces that are actually popular in different areas. So where's the mountain one from?
Well, if it's Smoky Mountain Barbecue, that'd
the
be
Smoky Mountains?
Tennessee, right?
Yeah.
Like Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge.
Is that true?
I don't know, because I was there last summer and I didn't go to a barbecue place.
They say it's continued in its exploration of regional fried chicken with Smoky Mountain Barbecue. It's a sweet, smoky flavor of Southern barbecue.
I'm totally interested in it, though I'll tell you the nutrition information is a little scary.
Don't even look. Don't even look.
Okay, in this serving size that they're showing, extra crispy breast, wing, thigh, wing. So that's kind of a lot of chicken. 83 grams of fat, 300 milligrams of cholesterol, 37 grams of carbs, 2,580 milligrams of sodium.
I think that's more than the day.
I don't know what any of those mean except for the fat one. I got that.
They say it's supposed to have a down-home feel, so it's like a KC masterpiece. So that's a sauce.
Okay, sure.
If you're familiar with that, kind of like a sweet molasses sort of taste to it.
Okay. All this article has made me like I want to taste this, but I really want to go back and get Georgia Gold.
That looks good.
The other thing I found in this article that I didn't know is that Raising Cane's, which are just spectacular chicken fingers, they're going nationwide.
I saw in this article.
I did not know that. So, I mean, obviously it takes time.
We think there's something in the chicken.
Oh, it's good, man. The only thing about them that I just, it really gets my chicken.
It does.
Is that you got to pay extra for the honey mustard sauce. Yeah. I think cane sauce is garbage. Keep it. I want honey mustard. So, but when I go up there and order.
Well, someone's licking the garbage because others like it.
Well, you go right ahead.
That's not me, but.
When you're at Raising Cane's and you go up and you place your order, you're. Like it's only chicken fingers and fries, but it takes me forever to order because I'm like, I want this. I don't want the cane sauce, and then I want honey mustard instead.
And I'd like to order
charge you an extra honey mustard. I already know you're charging me for it.
But they have to tell you.
While I'm not okay with it, the sauce is addictive enough that I will pay for it. So
bring your own bottle next time.
No, I like their honey mustard.
Move over.
We need to go to KFC. Like, I need some chicken. Like, for real. I'm not leaving here.
We are exactly like you think we are.
I'm not leaving here until I get my chicken.
Wish the worst of the riot would never end?
Everything that has a beginning has an end.
What is wrong with you? Get our daily podcast through iTunes, Google Play, or the RadioU app.
You know, sometimes it's a little frustrating to see how different cultures do things differently and how we treat those cultures. And chicken. Let's talk about this. This is weird, but I feel like it fits. Katy Perry, you know, Katy Perry. She was on a Japanese talk show doing an interview.
Yeah.
And they got her to see how many chicken nuggets she could eat at once.
Yeah, I saw the little clip of it.
Mm-hmm. So here's what I think, and I could be wrong. I feel like this is something that if you brought Katy Perry or most musicians into, say, a studio like ours, and we were like, hey, you know what? How many chicken nuggets can you eat at once? They'd be like, I'm not doing that.
They wouldn't. Well, the
That's
management
ridiculous.
would, on their behalf, let you know that they weren't interested in that.
But, you know, you go to Japan and they're like, okay, Katie, here's the deal. This is the kind of stuff they do on Japanese TV. They're extreme, okay?
Actually, that's very light compared to some of the other stuff.
So you're going to have to play along, and you want to sell those albums in Japan, right? You want to sell the albums because you don't want Tay-Tay selling more than you in Japan, right? Okay. You're going to have to eat the chicken.
Get on out there.
Get out there and eat that chicken.
And be nice about it.
I don't want to hear about it.
That's from the upper management.
Yeah, so she was on Tsukiri, which is a Japanese show, and she was given a bunch of chicken
Almost like,
nuggets.
what's the one with the marshmallows, Chubby Bunny?
Yeah, it was like Chubby
that,
Bunny, yeah.
But with chicken nuggets.
From Lawson, a chain of Japanese convenience stores. And you know what? Lawson used to have stores in the U.S.
They said that their chicken nuggets are pretty good.
No.
That's what they said. Why are they lying about it? Is that brought to you by Lawson's?
Okay.
Do you think so?
First off, yeah, probably.
You think the article is?
One. And then two, I'll tell you this. Do you think that if you were doing a write-up, somebody in Japan right now is doing a write-up about 7-Eleven's hot dogs?
No.
And they're like, you don't understand. In the United States, everyone loves 7-Eleven hot dogs. They line up for blocks to get them.
But in Japan, their convenience stores are way nicer than ours.
See? And that...
Way nicer. So I can believe that Lawson's would have nice chicken nuggets, and I do believe that 7-Eleven has good food there.
Here's what I think.
Not here, but there.
What you're saying right now, I think, is what someone looking at our culture would say. They would be like, have you seen their gas stations?
Only if they're talking about Wawas or
like,
Sheetz.
You go in there and you order food and sit down and eat because Americans are always eating all the time. And they have very high standards for their food, even their gas stations.
Saying that. They're not saying that. Their stuff is way better than ours.
We don't know that. Have you seen it?
I have seen other people have it, and it looked way better than ours.
Okay, if you say
cleaner.
Is it?
Yes.
Of course, there are examples. Again,
there's bad ones probably.
You and I have been to Wawa's that you would eat off the floor. It's so clean.
It'd be an honor.
You'd be like, thank you. Put it on the floor. Thank you. Thank you.
And then we've been some ones where, the crew hasn't been in yet that day.
I went to a Sheetz on my way to Washington, D.C. 2 summers ago, I think it was, where I got my food and it was like, this isn't
Sheetz quality, guys.
This is shocking. I want to talk to the manager about protecting the brand. I want to have a conversation right now.
I still think over there, their convenience store food tends to be on a different level than what we traditionally put out here.
Well, I'll tell you what, Nikki. We're going to need to go ahead and take the company card and fly to Japan
and figure
to
this
prove
out.
Whether or not you're right.
I think I am.
And you know what? I would be happy to spend company money to prove.
And time.
Yeah, and time. Of course, I'm getting paid the whole time.
To make sure that we bring you the correct news and articles and I'm holding to it.
It's important. It's research.
The part that keeps me up at night, we paid them for this. It's the worst of the riot on RadioU.
Have you guys ever heard the one about the parent that comes in and finds the kid smoking and they're like, oh, you want to smoke? We're smoking the whole pack.
Yes, they make you smoke the whole thing.
Yeah. So, I mean, that didn't happen to me.
But try to teach you a lesson.
But the idea is like, we're going to teach you a lesson and then you're never going to want to smoke again. Well, Miranda Polston came home from what I don't know and found that her daughter had been drinking. Her daughter's 14. They live in Kentucky. I feel like it's important context.
It's not legal and not
so
smart.
She's like, all right, cool. You want a drink? Let's drink.
Now, wait. Now, here's the thing. When you say like the smoking thread and then your parents make you smoke the whole thing, I feel like the immediate repercussions of smoking are different than the immediate repercussions of, all right, well, now you're drinking the whole bottle.
Yeah.
Like your body can't take it at that moment. Well, so I hope that's not the case.
Miranda doesn't agree with you, Nikki. And she
doesn't want me to help parent.
Mm-hmm. So she went
I'm starting
ahead.
to flag on the play.
Poston, there's this video, which I think they've taken the video down. But apparently on the video, she keeps telling her daughter she has to keep drinking and drinking and drinking. So she filmed this till her daughter became incredibly sick.
Aww.
And people can hear her laughing in the video. The girl can hear her making a gurgling sound, and then she falls face first on the floor.
Jeez. Yeah, see, that's what I was talking about. You can't do that.
So
even to teach a lesson, you can't do that.
The police, she posted the video, and Child Services saw it, called the police. They came and arrested her, and she's been charged with first-degree criminal abuse.
It's different from hey, remember that one guy a couple weeks ago where his son was being a bully, so he made his son run
Walk
to school?
Yeah,
he had to go to school like that. Again, your body can handle that.
Right.
People might be unhappy, but not. If I would have in the same position, I would have gone and got a Gatorade or something that maybe they would have thought would have been alcohol and made him drink a whole bunch of that. Because then you're hydrating, which is key. And she's learning a lesson at the same time. But she's not having that alcohol.
She could get water poisoning or something.
Well, no, not with Gatorade.
There's enough salt in there to counteract the water?
Yeah, or a La Croix.
You're going to drink La Croix until you throw up.
A LaCroix, but she wouldn't know it. You'd make it seem like she was drinking the alcohol.
Mm-hmm. Well, it didn't work out.
I can see.
And, it's on the one hand, you want to commend her for creative parenting. Okay, creative, it's nice, whatever. Then there's the whole alcohol poisoning and the illegality of giving alcohol to someone under the age of 21.
Which I'm not even sure with Kentucky, what age is what, so I don't know, but I assume it's still the 21.
I mean, I think it is. Nikki and I's memories of Kentucky are driving through, and they make whiskey everywhere. Everywhere.
I had to fill up my car, and the guy was smoking in the gas station. There was multiple people smoking.
There was 5 Ranger Rick-looking dudes all smoking at a table while they were eating. And you were just
in the gas station, and I haven't seen smoking inside almost my whole life.
Honestly, if they on the soda fountain had a little thing for Jack Daniels on the side, it would have been yeah,
that's Kentucky.
This feels like Kentucky right now.
It's a different state.
They're doing things differently, but even there, Nikki, this didn't work out.
Yes.
So sorry about that.
I'm sad, in a room full of all those people laughing and watching, no one was like, "Hey, Mom, you think maybe we shouldn't do that?"
Again, if that's family, and family's just yeah, we're going to teach her a lesson. We'll show her. Now I'm not defending it, but I can see it. I can see it, and remember what we saw in Kentucky.
That's true.
The Riot sees gas station hot dogs as part of a balanced breakfast.
Is that bad?
Well, not good.
It's the Riot on
RadioU. So as Nikki and I were mentioning a few minutes ago, our experiences in Kentucky, and this may be an unfair characterization.
Well, yeah, it's just that sort of side of it. Otherwise, everything else is wonderful.
While we were in Kentucky, we saw a lot of bourbon and whiskey, which I think bourbon is whiskey made in Kentucky. I don't know, and I don't explain it. Just
it's
whatever.
Fine. It's fine.
And a lot of smoking.
Well, sure.
So those were the two. And okay, one more thing. Horses. One more thing. The Corvette Museum. That's 4 things.
Yeah, we always would drive around that.
Yeah, okay, so there's those things.
And that long go-kart thing, was that in Kentucky? Or was that Tennessee?
I think you're right.
Yeah.
World's longest go-kart track? At least that's what they say, but when you're running a go-kart track, you say things.
You can just lie. No one's calling you on it.
But what about that time we drove through Indiana and we stopped at that gas station and took in a couple of cockfights? Remember that?
Yes. Where was that?
It was right outside of Columbus, Indiana.
That's not true.
What?
I've never been to a fight like that.
Nikki doesn't want to admit that she won big on a cockfight outside of Columbus, Indiana.
Is that on the chickens?
Yeah.
That's the chickens.
Yeah, it is.
I would be mortified, and I would try to find some way, because I realized, in a movie, I could go and try to like break it all up, but then they would like maybe pull guns on me or something. And,
they'd throw you into the middle and you'd be in the cockfight.
I'd have to fight with it, but I would try to somehow release the chickens and get them out and just try to save them.
This is crazy, but
Who does that?
You ready?
Yeah.
I've got details. You want them?
About a ring, yeah.
Mm-hmm. The Indiana Gaming Commission was working with, I believe, local police back starting in October of 2017.
A chicken sting?
It was. They actually did a few different things, including sending 3 officers undercover to a series of cockfights. and they found these 3 guys that they got search warrants for, which I'll tell you about in just a second. But they found these guys working in the concession stand and at the weigh-in areas.
Oh, gosh.
So you show up
There's
with
concessions?
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense, right?
I guess.
When you go see, some basketball, are you just eating? You're eating,
Get some
right?
popcorn, you get a hot dog. It'd be bad to get chicken there. It'd be bad.
Actually, no, that makes perfect sense.
It's the one that lost.
It's story chicken like, this is the one that didn't make it through whatever, but he sure tastes good, right? Know what I'm saying?
And then you just hold it up to the other chickens. This is it, guys. This is your motivation.
You see this sandwich?
Yeah, that's
you.
You
want to be on
if
it?
you don't.
You want to be on this sandwich right now?
Oh, I hate that.
No, it's just don't get too upset about it. It's fine.
I can't. We can fight ourselves as a human being. If you want to start your own little fight club, have at it. And if everybody's okay with it,
Nikki just endorsed Underground Fight Clubs.
I'm just saying, if everybody is okay with it, and like you want to have at each other and you want to fight, but don't bring an animal into it who can't have a voice and say, no, I don't really want to fight today, guys. Don't do that.
Coming soon, a series of videos from Nikki. Bum fights.
If everybody in the ring is okay with it. If you're like, yeah, let's do this.
Nikki, there are some things that may not be ethical even if everyone consents.
No, like if everybody is okay with it. Not like, are you being forced? I'm talking like you both want to fight and you want to do that in a ring.
Let's get back to our road trip Indiana cockfighting story. These 3 guys, they spotted them, whatever. They got search warrants, and they went and this is crazy, they have recovered 142 chickens.
Oh, now they have to find homes for them.
I'm sure that's what they'll do.
Yes, they do. And
I am sure that there are 142 farmers around Indiana that are like, we run a chicken sanctuary here where they'll be able to live out their days in peace. And you can't put them with the other chickens because they're just going to keep fighting.
I mean, they look like they need help. I mean, delicious.
Yeah, so...
No.
What?
I hope they don't. They're part of a case. They can't just go out.
Well, I mean, they're evidence now. So there's nothing they can do about it. They say the birds were being bred and trained in Indiana. Oh, my gosh.
What?
Oh, my gosh.
What?
They were bred in Indiana but taken to Kentucky to fight.
Oh, we're back.
Because the crime is only a misdemeanor in Kentucky. But it's a felony in Indiana.
So we've gone full circle. We're back in Kentucky.
You know what they're selling at the concession stands then?
Bourbon chicken?
You just blew my mind.
Elsie loves bourbon chicken.
I love bourbon chicken.
I see how it works because it's the Kentucky and the chicken.
Excuse me, officer. I don't condone anything that's happening here, but this is some of the best bourbon chicken in the state. And so I pay the cover and I get the bourbon chicken, okay? Okay? All right? So sue me.
Oh, my gosh.
Arrest me, because if this is wrong, I don't want to be right.
Because it's amazing.
Can we stop now?
Yeah, that's it. That's all we have on the story.
Starting your day with the worst of the riot is a great idea because it's guaranteed to get better from here. It's The Riot on Radio U.
While we're touring all of these different states here in the great United States of America, I've often thought that Nikki and I could do really well in Texas. But here's the thing that I'm starting to realize more and more is that Nikki and I cannot go to Texas. Like, we can't actually live there.
I am always amazed. We get to talk to, actually, we have a lot of listeners, a part of our podcast, or if you're just listening to Radio U there, we have a lot of listeners in Texas. Yep. They're dedicated, and they're very generous, and they're very kind. Yep. Very sweet whenever we talk. It's always, ma'am, y'all, like, have a good day. Like, it's very sweet. You guys are very, very nice.
Yeah, because I'll tell you what, Nikki, they were raised.
That night, a big and bright.
Deep in the heart.
Deep in the heart of Texas.
It's true. I'm always impressed.
But that's not the only thing that is raised in Texas. Wait, can we pause for just a second? Does anybody else feel like we're having a themed day? It's been states.
Oh, it is.
We've been doing states for like 25 minutes now.
We talked about Kentucky and Indiana.
Which linked back to Kentucky.
And then now it's Texas.
Yeah, so in Texas, you guys have way too many animals around. You don't get a deep freeze to kill some of them off.
That's the problem, so they just keep growing.
They keep living and growing and running and playing and ringing the doorbell.
No, it doesn't ring the doorbell, but I think it just activates the camera on it, the alarm with it.
Allison and her husband live in Spring, Texas.
They say it's in a pretty wooded area, so there's houses around, but not as many.
Okay.
So they knew that there was a lot of creatures around, but this is the first time since they moved in 2 years that they've seen this creature.
Mm-hmm. And here we go. They had a huge snake.
It's a big snake. It was slithering on their door, so it went up and down the door. So they have a camera, it doesn't look like a ring, but it's right off the doorbell side. And it activated the alarm on that. So it notified them at 2 a.m. that someone was at their front door. Mm-hmm. They checked their footage, and it wasn't someone.
It was a snake.
It was a something.
That would be, just to let you know, I would rather have a scary man at the door than a snake.
You know, jokes aside, and
I hate snakes.
What's the in Indiana Jones joke? It doesn't matter. He hates snakes.
I do
he
hate
really
snakes.
does.
And so I would.
It did like a smaller one.
It's not.
It wasn't a big one. I didn't think it could kill you.
It's not a 25-foot anaconda that's going to swallow you after it's, strangulated you or whatever. No, you're right, Nikki. It's not that.
You're like, what's the land shark joke? Or it's like land snake.
Land snake. But I'll just tell you, at that point, I would be like, well, all right, we're going to have to go out and kill the snake.
We have to move.
Get the shotgun. It's time.
What
Don't
if
hit the door.
In some places in Texas, they say that they have nests of them around and stuff. And we read this one house was overrun
Hundreds.
by snakes. And imagine if you lived in a place where you have a shotgun, but it's just to kill snakes. It's just a shotgun thing.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to do with that. How do you clean it up, or do you just brush the stuff aside, or leave it as a warning to the other snakes?
Tell your friends.
This is what happens.
Tell your friends what happens. I don't know. That's a great question. And it's the kind of question that I don't want the answer to, because I don't want to live in a place where I need the knowledge.
Because you're not living in Texas.
You understand what I mean?
I understand.
I don't want to know. I visited some friends that live in Oregon. It was family, actually, before they moved to the coast. They lived in what they call the high desert of Oregon. Went out for a run. Enormous snake crawled across the road in front of me, and I was like, that's far enough. Just going to go back now.
I stepped on a snake once. I was wearing flip-flops.
I've stepped on a snake. I've handled snakes. I've touched them. I've whatever them. I don't know where I began hating them so much, but I just do.
It happens. You're like, what's that hose? And then you're like, it's not a hose.
It's not a hose.
It's not a hose.
Yeah.
Well, just a warning, Texas, if your doorbell alarm goes off and you're like, what's that?
Yeah.
At 2 a.m, it might be a snake.
And I can't live there. Texas is off the list, and I love you guys. I do. I really do.
But it's better that way.
I mean, honestly, I may need to move to the tundra at this point, but it's cool. I like cold weather.
Then there's ice snakes.
They don't have those. That's not real.
As far as you know.
I'll face the ancient evil. It's fine.
Ever wonder what Nikki is doing when she isn't rioting? Find her Twitter feed at riot.radiou.com. Obadiah's is there too, but who cares what he's doing?
We want to say thanks to Josh, who lives in Kentucky. He told us that he knows a guy that raises fighting roosters.
And they go to the Philippines. The roosters do, because there it's like a national sport.
No big deal. And then Phil, he lives in Texas. Here's what he says. Of everywhere I've lived in Texas, West Texas was the worst. Rattlesnakes, scorpions. West Side!
That's the worst.
Tarantulas. Some places had classes for your dogs to train them to smell and avoid rattlesnakes so they wouldn't go exploring.
For the dogs, so they wouldn't be out exploring. And
they would know what they smell like.
Find one and then get bit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
Which makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
I'll bet that a lot of people lose their dogs to rattlesnakes.
Or the tarantulas, or
the scorpions,
or the other stuff. So it's a long laundry list there.
Yeah, so there's that. If you guys are wondering what Nikki and I are ever up to, you can always go to riot.radiou.com. You can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, whatever. If you're following me on Twitter today, I'll tell you what you'll find. It won't be snakes and scorpions. I have become just in the last 30 minutes, enthralled,
obsessed
with a new game coming up called Beat Saber.
So you've probably seen it on Facebook where it's like the lady playing, like you see the screen, and she's got like fake lightsabers, and she's doing the movements and stuff.
What'd you call them? Could you say that again?
Fake lightsabers.
You got it. I thought you said like sabers.
No.
Okay. All right.
I thought you were mad that I said fake.
Nope. No. I'm not mad at that at all.
I'm making a statement.
Nikki, let's be clear. All lightsabers
are fake. Okay, just that's it.
Yeah. No, we're doing great. Everybody move on. But it's basically like Dance Dance Revolution, and you just swing these lightsabers at these oncoming blocks.
And
it tells you which way to swing them, like up, down, to the side. You have to dodge things. I have really been missing Dance Dance Revolution, and it came to my attention the other day that I don't have anything that would let me play it.
And that's cardio. It really was. When you used to do DDR, like that was actually a workout.
It was a great workout. And it was a ton of fun. Like it was so much fun to play DDR. But I can't. Like they need to release that for like the Xbox One or the PlayStation or something, but they never have. And so here is Beat Saber. And they say the reason I'm looking at it is they released a brand new video of it today. It's going to be out on PlayStation VR, Oculus Rift, HTC Vive.
It is virtual reality.
Yeah, so if it makes you mad to hear that, I'm really sorry. But it's for me.
We will not be Beat Sabering anytime soon.
We won't be, but I'm pretty darn excited to give it a shot.
Sure. So when does it come out? In April?
Well, they haven't said yet. That's the thing. They're like, it will be out in a couple of months, we promise, because what's starting to happen is there was a lot of hype when that one video was released of the girl playing, and people are like, I want it. But it's been long enough now that as they release new videos, I'm checking the comments, and people are like, I'm so over the hype.
Sure.
I'm sick of whatever. Just release this. They're working on it.
Yes.
They're a small team that didn't anticipate how excited everyone was about it.
That was a viral hit for them.
Yeah, so I'm ready.
So it's again,
doing it.
Beat Saber?
Beat Saber.
And if you're interested, maybe coming soon.
I will disappear into that virtual world. Like, it will happen.
It's the worst of the riot, because calling it the best of the riot would be a lie. Radio U.
Oh, here it is.
Get your arm workout in, guys. Ready? Oh, do you feel that in the shoulders?
Feel the burn.
Yes.
Feel the burn.
Get summer ready.
Man, I've got a real pump going on now.
Now you're bikini ready.
Man, come on. I got Michelle Obama arms right now.
I know, you're like, hey, well, they always do the workout in 5 minutes, or like the super fast workouts, and they go, oh, but it's great for your whole body. You're like, that's the workout in 5 seconds.
Fantastic.
Your arms look good.
Here, let me encourage you with another kind of workout. The kind where you watch
eat a donut and watch a show.
22 years of The Simpsons.
It's got to be more than that.
I actually don't know how many years it is, but I do know this, that if you live in Australia, you're getting a little something special. Did you see this? Thanks to Jerome for sending this to me. It seems like we talked about it, maybe, but that it's a thing. Like maybe they announced it, but now it's actually happening.
So what is
it? If you live in Australia, you can go to Krispy Kreme and buy yourself
a Simpsons donut.
A Simpsons donut.
Oh, you're going to probably be like a little disappointed. It's just the pink donut, but with some sprinkles.
Okay,
but for Instagram, I would totally do that.
Of course you would.
I would totally do that.
Of course you would.
In fact, if you're in Australia and like to send me the picture, that'd be
great. Just go ahead.
So the Simpsons donut is available, yes, in Australia. You get like a 1-pack.
It's a glazed donut. It's got the pink icing on it and then sprinkles. And I'll just tell you, looks delicious to me.
Why don't we have this here?
Because we don't get anything nice.
Why can't we have anything fun? We didn't do anything wrong.
I don't think Krispy Kreme has had a good product tie-in since the Ghostbusters reboot. You remember that?
Which the movie wasn't like a good one. But
it's not a good movie, guys. It's not a good movie.
So this is available at Krispy Kreme and 7-Eleven stores in Australia, which 7-Eleven, if you remember, in the United States years ago did a promotion with The Simpsons.
They've done more than one, haven't they?
So
what was it though that they did? They had a
you
Simpsons
could go in
thing.
And they made it
that's right. It was like Quickie Mart.
Yeah, they made it into a Quickie Mart.
That's right. Okay, I remember that. So we got some good things. And wasn't that okay? Weren't those like the Ghostbusters donuts, I think they did that at Halloween. I don't think they did that around the movie.
No, I thought it was. I thought it was with the movie, but maybe we're wrong. This isn't where we should,
We don't shine.
It's
fine. There's a lot of ways we don't shine. This is one of them.
So the Simpsons donut is available in New South Wales, Queensland, Victoria, and Western Australia from now until April 30th, and you can do online ordering until April 27th.
Are they available in Dundee, Australia?
No.
Do they have a Krispy Kreme there?
No, they do not.
All right.
But that looks really, really fun. That's fine. I don't want one.
Yeah, I don't want one either.
I don't want one, and I don't want to watch. Ooh, Target's now selling unicorn magic ice cream. What's that? I'll click on that article. That's here.
Hey, just a heads up, it's working.
Hey, what's that? Unicorn
what about this?
Ice cream.
What about the Reese's peanut butter egg donut?
I see that story as well.
What's that? That's a Krispy Kreme? Right now? It does, starting March 19th?
It's past.
No, but that means they have it.
They probably do.
Okay, the donut is an unglazed shell stuffed with a blend of peanut butter cream, dipped in chocolate icing, and decorated like an Easter egg. I'm getting that.
Get it today.
I'm going to Krispy Kreme today because here's the great thing. I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to work out. And then I'm going to swing past the Krispy Kreme and get one of these donuts. Oh.
This is why we need our own Google Calendar with all these releases. Like, we can't keep track of unicorn this and cotton candy that and cereal and Oreo this and Krispy Kreme that.
Oh, you beautiful little donut, you.
Oh, you're talking about the donut, not me.
Well, Nikki, you're beautiful, too. Let's stuff you with peanut butter and dip you in chocolate.
I've asked you to not call me donut before.
I'd really like it if you would stop saying that.
I mean, I think that's in the handbook somewhere.
I don't know. It feels like a compliment. Somebody says to me, like, hey, donut. And I'm like, yeah, right?
Woo!
Sweet.
Fist bump.
Everybody wants one.
But you're saying I have a hole in the middle? Like I'm shallow?
Hey, you know what? That hole in my donut is full of peanut butter cream.
Okay.
The Riot is now accepting applications for a staff pastry chef. Please drop your resumes and an example of your work at the studio door, and we'll get back to you. Wink, wink. The Riot on Radio U.
I was watching the news last night, and President Trump was somewhere announcing infrastructure. Like, hey, we're going to build infrastructure. And it was kind of like a wide shot. And I was like, there's a Secret Service guy. There's a Secret Service guy. I'll bet some of these people that look like workers from the union
who are talking into their sleeves
guys.
are Secret Service people.
I was at the gym. This has been a year or two ago, and Michelle Obama came later that day. I had no idea that was a thing. And I'm working out. And it was funny. Like, you go to a gym same time every day enough, and you recognize people even if you don't talk to them. And I was like, there are like 3 or 4 dudes in here that are, first off, kind of big, like
very
strong.
Fit.
And I'm like, and they're working out in here. Where did these people come from? And then I found out later that,
Secret Service.
The first lady had been there. And I was like, what the heck?
And they weren't just working out to work out. They were working
watching
out
me
so that they could watch everybody else and be blending in.
That's crazy, right?
No wonder the guys were ripped.
I know.
They're like, we got to go work out again today. Don't go to the gym.
It was a weird thing that happened. But, you look at those guys and what are they willing to do? If something would be going down with President Trump, they would run out and jump in front of the bullet. I'll take the bullet for you. That's crazy talk. What if they don't like him? I know a lot of people right now that would not take a bullet for the president.
But in that position, that's your job, and that's what you're sworn to do.
So what about you, Nikki? Who would you take a bullet for? Not very many people, right?
You.
There'd just be a couple people.
Yes, and Eric, but it's a small list compared to all the people that we actually know.
Because, there are plenty of people I don't like very much. And I'd be like, you know what?
I try to help, but I might not jump in front.
It's cool. You can go ahead and I'll be over here when I'll call 911.
Very sad.
I'm sad about it. And I'm making light about it, but I want you to think about this. Jesus took a bullet for you. Today's Good Friday. Today is the day that, as a Christian, I celebrate the fact that Jesus died for me. Now, we can all think of a couple of good people in our lives that we would be willing to die for. But here's the thing. Jesus indiscriminately loved each of us and was willing to die for us. So, again, think about it. Jesus died for President Trump. He died for you. He died for the guy down the hall that you can't stand. he did this. And, let's be honest. Like, a lot of times we say people are important because of their position. People are willing to die for Trump because of his position. And if you don't like President Trump, people would have died for President Obama because he's president of the United States. He's important. But you know what? In my life, the people that I say are important are the people that I love. The people I would take a bullet for, it's because I love them. And that's why Jesus took a bullet for us when he died on the cross for us. He took that bullet. He took some of the punishment that I deserve for things that I have done. Because I got to be honest, I don't tell you guys all about it. But if you want to sit down and go through my failings and list out a lot of the things that I've done, not accidents, mind you.
On purpose?
Knew was wrong, intentionally did things. It's a long list. I am not a quote unquote good person. But I'll tell you this, Jesus died for me. And because of that, I've got a relationship with God. I'm completely forgiven for anything I have ever done. And it's an amazing thing. And that's what I'm celebrating today in Good Friday. He did the same thing for you. If you want to have a relationship with God, it's because of what Jesus did. And you can take that now and say, Jesus, thank you. Thank you for dying for me. I want you to come into my life and fill me with your spirit. I want to have a relationship with you. And I want to know what you're all about. It's a starting point. This is not the only thing about God. There's a lot of stuff that you can find out and learn, but a relationship with him starts right there, and his enormous love for you.
Nikki and Obadiah. Obadiah and Nikki.
Love, hate, hate, love.
All right, everyone in, let's go.
It's the worst of the riot on RadioU.
How bad are you looking for a new name for your band? Because I've got another one.
Okay.
Emotional Support Squirrel is taken. That's our band.
That's our side band when we're done with the riot or if we want to take a summer to travel the road.
Yeah, and we've worked on the emotional support tour that we're putting together. Emotional support Peacock is one of those.
That's also.
And there was one other one, emotional
that's a smaller
support
group. I feel like there was one other thing.
Yeah, because it was us, Peacock, and somebody else, and I can't remember.
Anybody remember?
But check this out. All right, are you ready? Here, I'm telling you right now, this is a killer band name. Tijuana Sewage Flow.
Ooh, it's something. I'm thinking punk. Old school punk.
Absolutely. I mean, just like
angry punk.
Dirty, angry punk. Yeah.
Environmentally angry punk.
I like that too.
So it's got
like
an activism
angle. It's got
it.
an angle.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Like, we don't want your sewage flow. Or like something. But then I feel like that's kind of an anti-band statement.
If not,
so you got to be careful.
It's a hip hop group, and sewage flow is like a new rap style. Like, hey, how do you flow?
It's Mexican style rap,
flow.
And you wear the masks from the Mexican wrestling. What is it called? Luchadora. Luchador. Yeah, luchador. You wear a luchador mask.
Do you hear us pause because we're like, I don't know. Do you know?
Because I couldn't remember. And Eric's here. I thought he might know. So you wear luchador masks, and it's like a Mexican style, like hip hop.
Yeah.
With definitely like some Spanglish in it. So it's like it's
where's
English,
this
but it's Spanish.
From, though?
Tijuana.
Well, yeah, but are they having a sewage flow problem?
Oh, okay. Yeah. In San Diego, they had to close the beaches at the Tijuana Slow National Wildlife Refuge and Borderfield State Park. Because what was happening is in Tijuana, they're just dumping their sewage into the river, and it was flowing out to the beach there. So it was contaminating the beaches. And now they're like, hey, it's cool. It's back.
Have you ever been to the beach along Southern California or any beach where, let's just say, the river empties out into it? Mm-hmm. You never go to that part.
It's not a good
No, it's not. Because usually things just go in the river all the way out.
Down
or
the
if
river.
there's a pipe right out there, you're like, where's that stuff going?
Not good.
Don't put your beach stuff right near that area. So you don't want in that water.
They have gone ahead and said the beach is open now. So, like, it's fixed. But you don't. I know that's what I thought. I was like, you know what?
I'm going to say this. I went to Panama a couple of years ago, and we were in downtown Panama, and the beaches, they gave us a warning. They said they're still in like a 7-year period where you shouldn't use the beaches downtown.
7 years?
Because the pollution had been so bad that they needed it to not, it had to take some time for it to start.
Okay.
So that's why I'm a little that's a little fast. If it's a lot of sewage, it needs time to heal itself.
7 years?
Yeah, or at least a good amount of years.
Well, I'll tell you, they decided.
I'm not going there yet.
They say it's fine. Come on back. No big deal. Come on down. Go for a dip.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm good. I had that shot to protect me from the bad water. So.
You know what,
it depends on what you have.
Here's what I would like to know. You think about this. Like, when you go down, like you're on vacation or something, you got a couple days off, you go down to the beach and you're really excited and you spend the day at the beach. Then you're like, I had so much fun at the beach yesterday. I want to go today.
Yeah.
And then you go back down and there's a big sign that says, beach closed due to Tijuana sewage flow.
Which was there when you were there.
Right. That means you spent the day in the Tijuana sewage flow.
In the sewage flow, and you just know that they were about ready to close, but they made the call on the day that you were done with it.
And heads up, you better copyright that band name fast because that's going.
That's a good one.
Happening.
That's gold.
The Riot's motto, Carpe Cupcake. Those are words to live by. RadioU. The Riot. Food fight.
Man, there is some magic happening here.
Zach, thank you for going.
Oh,
and thank you for getting it here on time so that we could do a special Riot Edition food fight. This, I think, came out during the spring fundraiser for us.
March 19th.
So that's why we were not sooner on this.
Okay, so what do you got here?
This is the Reese's peanut butter egg Krispy Kreme donut.
It sure
so
is.
It's like the famous candy mixed into a donut.
Yeah, and it looks like a little Easter egg.
Which I love.
On top of a donut.
I have not really had any Easter candy at all this year. Like, with the exception of, I had a friend that bought me some...
Robin eggs.
Thank you, Nikki. Zach, what's your take on robin eggs? Will you eat those?
I don't think I've ever had one.
Oh, they're like malted milk balls.
Is that the one with the candy coating, or I guess they're all...
Is that the stuff with chocolate and the cream in the middle?
No. This is just, it's like a malted milk ball, but it's got, do you know what that
shell,
is? Yeah, like a candy. It's like a Whopper with a candy shell.
Yes, okay.
There it is.
Nope.
But it's not like a cream egg. It's not like a Cadbury one.
This is branded. It smells like donut.
This is a Krispy Kreme Reese's peanut butter egg. So it is branded from them. And that's supposed to be
peanut butter.
That's supposed to be the cream.
It's supposed to be inside. So.
Yeah, I mostly smell the peanuts on top of it.
Yeah, okay, you're right.
So here's the problem. With most donut places, like, if you take the first bite, are we going to get any cream? Or should we open it up?
I feel like that's an important part of the test. We take our first bite, and then we break it open to get into the middle to try the cream.
You think so? Okay.
I do.
All right,
you guys ready?
Let's give it a whirl.
Donuts up.
All right, cheers, everybody.
A lot of empty space in there.
There's a lot of air.
There's a lot of air.
A lot of air in that donut.
Okay. I don't know if you guys can see it, but look here. We're on Facebook, by the way, Facebook Live, if you want to see it.
You see how much you got in?
You guys see how much of the donut I ate?
And I haven't really
you need a lot to get to the cream.
Yeah.
I haven't had any cream yet. That's how much of that donut I've had.
Krispy Kreme, I feel like we can be a little bit more generous with what we put in the donut. Just a little bit.
Let me show you what else. I'm just using my fingers now.
That's a tiny amount of cream.
That's how much of the donut is gone. Half the donut.
There's such a tiny amount.
No cream.
Yeah.
That is some weak sauce right there, guys.
That's why. And then if you go to like a local place, like in your area, man, they're generous.
They got wall-to-wall cream.
We have a donut shop near us where they actually don't stuff it until you're right there in front of you, and then they put the cream in it right when you're there.
Well, that's cool.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, so you want to try the inside?
Yeah, let's get
of
some
the Krispy
cream
Kreme donut. Well, it's got that peanut butter taste, the Reese's one.
It does.
I feel like it doesn't actually taste like the candy that you're expecting, though.
Like a Reese's Pieces or something?
Yeah. Well, it doesn't taste like that Easter egg candy.
It's good.
In my opinion. I mean, it tastes good, but it's not the candy that you're thinking about.
The cream is...
You okay? Is it dangerous?
I think it's good,
yeah.
But I feel like, and this may be a little unfair, but I feel like it's taking me so long to get to it.
But now you've got the donut taste all around it.
Yeah. Like there's not, I think just straight up, there's not enough cream in this donut.
Now, we three are saying that. So you're like, it might have just been an underfilled donut. But three of us out of the small box, that's a pretty good ratio of they might not be filling it as much.
Now, Zach, what do you think? Would you recommend this donut?
I mean, I'd recommend it as a donut for sure.
If someone else is buying it.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not a bad choice.
Yeah, it's a donut. Why not? I mean, I'm not going to say it's the best donut in Easter, but I mean, it's, it's a donut.
Butter, it's got a smooth peanut butter taste. Less like peanut butter in a jar, more like the Reese's peanut butter egg inside filling that they have. So it's a showing. They showed something.
It's
It can?
Yeah, I know.
Every time we do a Riot taste test, it makes them cough.
It's okay. Like, it's not great.
Well, you're a donut man and a peanut butter man, so it's hard to,
that's actually
to crack
right.
that egg.
I love donuts and I love peanut butter, and this, I really do think it just comes down to the lack of cream. They needed
There's
more.
a lot of bread in this.
Yeah.
There's a lot of bread.
I mean, if I wanted a loaf of bread, I'd get one, okay? Like, I came here for the cream.
But still, a good try for the Riot food fight.
The worst of the riot is over, but the fun can keep going.
Hey, I saw you checking out my goods.
Check the Riot blog or stalk us on social media.
You want to sample them? A little try before you buy, huh?
Through riot.radiou.com.
See this? Big Nude paid for all of this.